Folks, welcome into sportsbookreview.com. It is Thursday, and it's time to talk some Major League Baseball. I got to say, see these three guys on the panel here? If your pockets ain't fatter this week, I don't know who you're betting out there. What a night for me. I had the trifecta play last night. Arizona, yes, let me down again. The Atlanta Braves team total hit. The game total over hit. Zach Wheeler going over 8 strikeouts and the Phillies hit. Zach Wheeler going over 9 or more strikeouts and a Phillies win hit. Fantastic times here. I'm Donnie RightSide along with Jason Radowitz and Kyle Purviance. You know us. We're the sportsbookreview.com Major League Baseball team. Great week, Jason. We are filling it up, getting ready for payday tomorrow.
Yeah, it's funny. The last 2 days, I've went 6-0 on my plays. Made none of them official, all value plays. But, of course, those value plays turned into, a couple of units in profit. So can't complain at all. Yeah. It's been a great week. And also hit that odds boost last night. Betting against my New York Mets here and taking Chris Sale to get over his strikeouts and for the Red Sox to win. An easy win for the Red Sox, and Sale got over his strikeouts in no time as well. So, yeah, great couple of days, and we'll try to do that again.
Yep, at least when your teams are losing, but you're winning money, it sort of offsets everything for us here, Kyle. But good week had by all here. And Jason brings up a good point here. September units lower down a little bit. I haven't had an official play in the month of September, which means you'll play of the day. You got to hammer this one. But we've picked up a lot of money, betting a little bit and picking up a lot. Boy, those are some really good nights out here.
Yeah, and I did have a play of the day. The Giants team total, they hit that, and we got 2 out of the 3 home run props. The Adam Duvall thing was bizarre, and I heard that BetMGM did end up paying out that prop to some of their people, so that was pretty cool of them. And this close to an 11-1 odds boost last night. Needed one more hit and those 5 more appearances from Chris Bryant, but good week. I know you guys have been killing it. And Jason, let me clean this up for you. All of those plays have been official.
Yeah, not
you
my
have
bank.
Been hammering those plays, giving them out. They've all been official. Great week for everyone. Looking forward to today.
All right, let's get into it here. In-game live updates, but before we do that, inching higher and higher. Now 89,500 subscribers here on our network on YouTube at sportsbookreview.com. Thank you guys for all of that. Subscribe. If you haven't done that yet, hit that subscribe button. Turn your notification bells on. We go live to talk Major League Baseball right through to the playoffs. You'll be able to come into the chat box and say hello, share that information, and yes, be able to cash in. Also, the Pick 6 contest going on right now in the NFL. Fired mine. Kyle fired his in for the week. Don't forget to put that in. $1,600 up for grabs each week. $50,000 for the season here. It's a fantastic contest. Make sure you participate. But we do have some afternoon baseball today. Chicago White Sox woke up early here doing some damage. 7-1 early over the Cleveland Indians. The St. Louis Cardinals, who seemingly can't lose, going up against the Milwaukee Brewers. Let's see if they get the full sweep on for them as well. Asking some early indicators here, Jason. Any one of these 2 games that you took a look at? Because I have one for the afternoon that I do like starting up at 3:11, but I passed on these 2 games. But once again, betting against the St. Louis Cardinals, not great for your health.
Yeah, when it comes to these 2 games, I didn't have any wagers. Zavali for the Indians, a 4.93 xFIP, so he hasn't been great, especially against righties with a 407 weighted OBA. So obviously with the White Sox right-handed heavy lineup, they did some damage, and I guess the analytics kind of proved that, and I guess that's working out how it was supposed to. And then with the other game, you got the Brewers and the Cardinals. Of course, you don't really want to bet against the Cardinals right now. They've won 11 straight games, and they look really good. The Brewers, though, going to be pitching Hauser in this game so far. Looks like he got through the first inning unscathed, so good for him, but still low strikeouts, high walks, high xFIP as well. So not a big fan of Hauser. And, of course, Wainwright hasn't been great either. He does limit the walks and gets a high amount of strikeout, or high amount of ground balls. But another guy that, he's produced, especially as of late, the entire, Cardinals starting pitching has. So another game I didn't want to wager on, but, you can't bet against the Cardinals right now.
Yeah, it is hard to bet against the Cardinals here, but I love the chat box, man. Kyle, what are you thinking? Any early game action today?
Well, I was close to going on to the Cardinals here, but I wasn't sure when I was looking. It wasn't announced fully that Arenado was going to be in the lineup. I know he had some back issues yesterday. But, tough to go against the Cardinals right now. Looks like Milwaukee putting a little heat on here in the first inning. We'll see I might be a little bit behind here, a couple guys on. But, the Cardinals are hot, so it makes a whole lot of sense there to continue backing them. Obviously, a little late now, probably on that White Sox-Cleveland game. Maybe one way to look at that is with such a big lead, getting ready to head into the postseason, they just got another run across. Cleveland did, you start getting those these aren't those, hey, we need to win this game type arms they're going to bring out of the bullpen. So maybe you can get some cheap runs late out of Cleveland. But other than that, I stayed away.
You got it here. Let's staying away from these early games. I haven't really bet too many of the early games. We do have a scoring update here now, 7-2 with a solo blast here by the Indians in the bottom of the fourth inning. But let's have some fun and get to the card today. Dodgers and the Rockies, the first game we're going to talk about today. And hey, Dodgers lost yesterday. Time is slipping away from them to try to win the NL West and stay out of that one-game wild card. Scherzer's going to be on the mound, so just lock and load. Don't watch the game. He's going to win this one fairly easily. 270 on the road here in New Jersey. 10s across the board. I don't know if Colorado can hit, but they tend to hit at home in that thin air. But the one thing I'm looking forward to today, Jason, in this game, the Dodgers bats opening up a little bit here, stacking some right-handed batters against the lefty Freeland.
Yeah, look, you can't bet against Scherzer right now.
Nope.
2.73 xFIP, striking out 37.8% of the batters, and walking just 2.4%. Now, I will say his batting average of balls in play sits at 187, and he has allowed nearly 40% of hard contact. So there's a chance that some balls in play can, become hits eventually, especially being in Coors Field when the Rockies, they do have plenty of guys that are hitting line drives against right-handed pitching, but the reality is you have to hit the ball before you can get the ball in play, and to do that against Scherzer will be very difficult. Also, the Dodgers, like Donnie was talking about, they got plenty of power going up against the lefty in Freeland. Freeland also walking 9.6% of batters in the last 30 days and has been really bad against righties. 407 weighted OBA and an ISO of 359. So all those righties in the lineup, from Betts to Turner to the other Turner, Pujols, Pollock, Barnes, they all should do plenty of damage against Freeland here. And I know they don't walk too often, but if they can get some guys on base, of course, a couple, 2-run, 3-run, even grand slams are in the cards today for the Dodgers. So love the Dodgers on the team total. It is a high price to pay. You're going to have to get a lot of runs in Colorado, but it's definitely doable here as they continue to fight for the NL West.
Yeah, continue. How about this one? Maybe the Cardinals aren't so hot anymore. 4-0 on a Tyrone Taylor first inning grand slam. So as we say, nobody wants to bet against the Cardinals. Erase this tape. Everybody wants to bet against the Cardinals today, which we all astutely had. The team total over 3.5 for the Brewers that cashed in here early in that game. So congratulations to all of us here. But looking at this game here between the Dodgers and the Colorado Rockies, Kyle, I think the Dodgers do hit in this game. I like the way the lineup profiles here, and also looking at the lineup itself, coupled by 80 degrees in Colorado, full 9 at bats. I think they get some revenge today, and I think they're able to hit because that team total coming in here, 5.5 minus 145. Sounds like a lot, but keep in mind, we're out there in Colorado.
Yeah, and I think the 5.5 at 145 makes a lot of sense. I'm seeing on some 6.5s too at minus 110. So it goes both ways. Freeland, his last couple of starts against the Dodgers has not been terrible. Over 40 points in both of those outings. Now his weighted 3-year OPS is around 800. The projected lineup for the Dodgers for their career are 44 of 146 lifetime off of Freeland. That's a 301 average. That's a nice sample size and a nice rate of success. But you're just not getting any breaks on the Dodgers. High team totals. If you take the 5 innings run line with Scherzer, it's minus 170. Nobody likes that. Minus 250 on the money line. So it's difficult to really bet this game and get, any sort of value that you feel great about. I'm with you. If I was going to bet it, I would probably go to that 145, take that team total at 5.5. They do have some guys who have hit Freeland solidly. And of course, you never want to be holding the bag betting against Max Scherzer. But we will say last night, look at that lineup off of Walker Buehler. They absolutely smashed him last night. It was a bit of a surprise, and it was an up and down game in those first 5 innings. Of course, it's the Dodgers or bust here with Scherzer on the mound. That Dodgers team total is live. But again, you're not getting any breaks. So I wouldn't be, betting the mortgage on anything here because you need a lot to go right to win that bet.
That's code for Kyle did bet the mortgage. He's just not trying to jinx himself right here. By the way, if there was a game last night, something that we don't see that often. As I was going on the air later, 7:40 start last night. Chicago Cubs, Minnesota Twins. Like we talked about it yesterday, a 7. And what do we say? You can hit ground balls and score runs. You can hit doubles and score runs here. When I got on the air last night at 7 o'clock, that line dropped to 6.5. So I went right to Caesars and said, you know what, this is ridiculous here. And they also had a promo last night, which is on Wednesdays, 50% boost on your profits that you get. So I put the 6.5 in. They had 4 runs after 2 innings. Now, granted, they didn't get that 7th run until I believe the 9th inning on a couple runs here. And also the Cubs almost won that game. It ended up 5-4 at that point. But I got 6.5, like Kyle, just 6.5 at Wrigley. I don't care if there's a hurricane blowing in at 100 miles an hour. How can you not take 6.5?
Yeah, it's impossible, right? I saw when you put that, I was like, oh my God, 6.5. You just have to take it just out of principle, right? Like that's just good habits. Doesn't mean you're always going to win those bets, but when you follow those good habits, good things happen. And that's how you become not a short-term winner, but a long-term winner is forming those good habits. So I think that's a great point.
Yeah, like you bring up like principal plays. Like it wasn't, and again, it wasn't Max Scherzer versus, I don't know, Chris Sale in that game. Like it was two average to below average pitchers with decent lineups. It did end up working out. I would have been furious if it didn't, but a 6.5 at Wrigley. And yesterday when we talked about it on the show, when we were talking about the 7 when it was on the board, I had to double check to make sure that wasn't actually a double header twice to make sure what I was missing something. But it was able to cash in here. Another game this afternoon, 3:37, Seattle and Oakland. I said the same thing yesterday. I'm going to say it again today. It just profiles to an under game. I'm going to ride the under in this series until the wheels fall off. A 172 favorite here for the Oakland Athletics going up against the Mariners. Kikuchi versus Bassett. 8.5s across the board. 4-1, 4-3, 5-2 type ball games. They keep lining up here. I don't know who's going to. Do I want to put it this way? 172 with Oakland. I do not want to do that. I feel more comfortable in the under here, Jason, in this game.
Yeah, so Bassett back on the mound 5 weeks after being drilled by a 100-mile-per-hour line drive into the eye or whatever. So, I don't think many expect him to be back by the season, before the season, concluded. So good on him getting back. Really cool story. We don't know how long he's going to be able to pitch, if he's, going to be able to go a long, time in this game, if they're going to go to the bullpen early or whatnot. They just want to get him out there for 3 innings and get him, to feel the mound again. But, I wouldn't want to be betting on this game, not knowing what Bassett, how long Bassett's going to go. But for the Athletics, they're going to go up against Kikuchi here, a 4.67 xFIP, and striking out low amount of batters at 18.8%, also walking 8.3%. Again, this lineup for the Athletics are going to be all right-handed bats. So if I'm going to be betting on a team in this game, I'm going to trust the Athletics more with all their right-handed bats against Kikuchi, who does have a 367 weighted OBA against righties in his last 67 plate appearances. So those righties in the lineup, they can probably do some more damage. I would trust them more compared to the Mariners going up against Bassett, who, before he was injured, was having one of the better seasons as an American League pitcher.
I agree with what Jason's saying here, Kyle, as we take a look at this. And again, you do look at the lineups here that are official, obviously, because we have a game that's coming up in about an hour. A lot of right-handed bats in the lineup versus a lefty that usually checks out well. Oakland does have some decent numbers. A couple guys in that lineup, low K rates, should be able to do damage. But again, it just comes back to me, that 8.5. I don't know if they can get 9 runs. I think it stays under the total again. And this is a series, Kyle, we're looking at with not great pitching, but it's just a tough ballpark to hit in, and 2 teams fighting for the playoffs. So every at-bat matters. What I mean by that is maybe you drop a bunt down. Maybe instead of you swinging for the fence, you're just looking to pull a ball to get a runner from second to third base. A lot of those things go into playoff time here. I'm looking for the under in this game. Any thoughts for you between the Mariners and the Athletics?
Yeah, when I first looked at this game, the under 4.5 in the first 5 innings jumped off the page to me. One of the reasons why is Kikuchi, even though the A's, it's a little bit weird and contradictory. Their lineup today, everyone is in the green for me outside of Matt Olson, who actually is a little bit better against lefties than righties. It's just how good Kikuchi's been against lefties, and he's got a couple home runs in his career off Kikuchi, as well as Matt Chapman. Mitch Haniger also has had a lot of success against Bassett, 4 or 5 lifetime with a couple of home runs as well. So some of the power guys in this lineup have been very good against the opposing pitcher. Then when you flip it on, playing devil's advocate here, Kikuchi, in his last 5 starts against Oakland, nothing less than 35 fantasy points. He's been very, very good. So despite the A's lineup profiling as good as it possibly can, I have a little bit of nerves about it because of how good he has been against this team. So I will say I wouldn't put a ton on it, but I think the Mariners are a little bit of a live dog here. You get a plus 155 in the first 5. Maybe Bassett's, got a little bit of PTSD. I know I would if I got hit in the eye at 100 miles an hour, a little bit of nerves, hasn't pitched in a while. The Mariners can jump out early. Kikuchi going against all that green on my sheet here. It's a really tough one for me. It's a dog or pass situation because it's so close. I don't mind that under 4.5 early. I will say there are the power numbers of some of those big hitters make me a little bit nervous about that off these pitchers. But I don't see a ton of runs. I do think it leans the under, and I do think the Mariners are live dogs, dog or pass for me.
Yeah, it could be a decent shot here, but it is a playoff atmosphere, which we're going to talk about a playoff atmosphere here in just one moment. I got to say, we always get these food things in the chat box. Akbar says chicken nuggets with honey. Maybe honey mustard. Did you ever put honey on your chicken nuggets, though?
What
like
the
regular
hell?
Honey?
I asked like 100 people yesterday. Do any of you put your milk in first over the cereal? I got a lot of no's. A couple yeses, and I just said, just don't call me anymore. You're just a freak. You're just a weirdo. The weirdest thing I've ever done with cereal, my grandmother, she's a little Dutch lady, and when I was little, if we ran out of milk, I loved Fruit Loops. She would put orange juice in my Fruit Loops, and that is actually delicious. So if you want to try, you want to be weird with cereal.
Now you're going off the rail.
Orange juice and Fruit Loops is delicious. Delicious.
Oh my goodness! And Jason, your household, little orange juice on your
no.
your Fruity Pebbles. For me,
I only drink water and milk occasionally.
Oh God.
I'm a picky guy. When it comes, like, I won't ever eat chocolate, no ice cream, no cake. I'd rather steak, So no desserts, no nothing like that. I'm real picky, but yeah.
Maybe everybody's just crazy. Maybe
I don't
pick
put
on anybody here.
Yeah, I can only eat one thing at a time. I can't do two things at the same time in my mouth. I can't do it.
Hey, but I don't understand honey on nuggets though. Like,
No.
when does that? Where is the even option to do that? Like, when you go out to a restaurant or wherever, like a kid orders it, right? It's usually like ketchup or barbecue sauce or something like that. I've never heard anybody say, "Do you have just straight up honey for my chicken?" I don't. Where do we live here? Is it regional?
No. That sounds disgusting. Honestly, that makes me want to. I kind of threw up in my mouth a little bit. And you remember, my grandma was a sweet little old Dutch lady, and I loved it as a kid. I was like, okay, I'll have the orange juice. And she was a wonderful lady and my favorite person of all time, so don't bag on her too hard.
Yeah, everybody bag on her very hard here because we're not agreeing in the chat box. We're not agreeing in the chat box here, so yeah. Now, I put Frank's hot sauce on eggs. Like, I've heard of that, and I could see people that would appreciate a nice hot sauce and stuff. I get it, man. I understand. Now, Richard Roberts says, hey, as long as we all drink beer the same way. I don't even want to get into what that even is supposed to mean other than cracking a can and drinking a beer, but that's besides the point here. Giants and the Padres, another playoff-type atmosphere game. Well, at least playoffs here, we would think, for the San Francisco Giants as those Padres. Did anybody check on the standings here for the Padres? I told you, when we entered September 10th, there's a really good possibility they won't even be 500 by the end of the season. This team is sinking faster than the Titanic out here, but can they save it today? Webb and Darvish, I pick them across the board, 7.5. But I got to say, Jason, when you're looking for a pedigree pitcher in this game, you would think it would be you, Darvish. I don't know anymore. Logan Webb has been sensational this year. And look at the San Francisco Giants bats against right-handed pitchers, particularly with lefties, which Darvish struggles against.
Yeah, like you said, Darvish, 521 weighted OBA, ISO of 476 in his last 47 plate appearances against lefties. Also, the strikeout rate against lefties, 6.4%, walking 8.5%, and getting just 32.5% of ground balls against lefties. Now, you look at this Giants lineup, Estella, Bill, Wade, Crawford, Yastrzemski, all lefties in the lineup going to face against Darvish. And all of these guys have really good power, elevated power, ISO numbers, elevated weighted on base averages. Also not striking out very often. The walks are high at 10.6%. Just like yesterday, we talked about the Giants and their offense. It looks really good against righties. They're hitting the ball extremely well. And obviously they cashed our ticket last night when it came to the over 2.5 in the first 5. So, yeah, well, let's go to Webb. And, Webb has allowed some runs in his last couple of starts. Although he does have an xFIP of 236, striking out 28% of batters and also walking 2.8%. The batting average of balls in play sits at 329. So a little bit, unlucky in those spots, but still getting ground balls at around 61% in the last 30 days. He's been fantastic. And against this Padres offense, really, there's just Tatis in the lineup and the rest have been very inconsistent. So I like the Giants in this one. And like you said, the Padres, they're going downhill and they might finish below 500 with my Metsies.
Look, and by the way here, I know we're going over the baseball card, but I'm very intrigued by this. Now, look, there's two different things. Like, you go out and you get like honey wings from a restaurant or something like that. I'm talking about getting chicken nuggets and putting actual honey on it, like out of a bottle or a What is I don't understand that. Like, everybody does a nice honey wing or a flavor like that. But I'm talking about, hey, can I get the chicken and also honey with that to dip it and all sticky and stuff? No way.
No. I'll do the sweet and sour sauce. I love the sweet and sour sauce with the nuggets and the French fries. I'll get down with that. But straight honey, I don't know. They're just not.
It's making me hungry though right now.
Yeah, I am a little bit hungry myself, but I don't know. It's just that honey seems a little dicey for me. Maybe I'll try it just to appease you all, but I guarantee I spit it out. Guaranteed.
Yeah, it says, I feel like Jason just wants to talk baseball and Donnie Collins is just driving crazy. That's the whole name of the show here. Look, this guy doesn't eat any stuff. Wait till we get this guy out for dinner, and he's knocking down cakes by the pound out here, Kyle. What do you got today, Giants and the Padres?
Yeah, so look, we got Giants minus -0.5 in the first five at plus 110. Now, okay, yeah, Darvish is a good pitcher. Doesn't profile all that well. It hasn't been great against the Giants. Got smashed in his last outing against this Giants team. I like the Giants lineup tonight. Now, they were playing pretty late last night. It was a late game. It took forever for that game to end. Padres started scoring late. The Giants scored a ton of runs. But when you look at Logan Webb, he hasn't been great against the Padres either. His last four starts, nothing more than 25 fantasy points. Two of those games were a 1 and a 0. So there's a little bit of risk here. The Giants lineup does profile just slightly better against Darvish than the Padres do against Webb. Obviously, the Giants are one of the hottest teams in baseball. One of the biggest surprise, I think, they just kept winning all year long.
Really
and
good.
anytime I'm getting that plus money on the run line in the first 5 innings, I got Logan Webb on the mound. You got to go with the Giants until the wheels fall off here. I'll take a minus -0.5 in the first 5 at plus 110.
Yeah, they really need victories here. I think the San Diego knows the writing's already on the wall, but San Francisco has to keep that lead extended over the Dodgers here. Let's get to some value menu wagers on the card. Very nice yesterday. 2-1 on my value menu wagers, which is great. That's a profit. I'll take it every time. I'm just going to go with one play today on the card. A lot of these games in the afternoon, which I usually try to stay away from, but I have to tell you, I like it. I like the Dodgers today. I think they're going to hit. 5.5 minus 145 at BetMGM. I'm going to go with that. Obviously, we do have an early afternoon game, but the lineups are confirmed. And I think the lineup looks pretty good here if we're trying to bet a Dodgers and see what the reasoning would be. Freeland is a lefty. He's a good pitcher, dominates left-handed batters, but the right-handed batters have an advantage. And you're not just talking about a slight advantage. 407 weighted on base percentage over the last month for Freeland against righties. A 359 ISO power number. And even when you go up and down the list, forget about even lefties and righties. Those ISO power numbers versus lefties are extremely high for the Dodgers. I think they hit. I think they can get the 6 over the 9 innings. I think they win this baseball game. But that's where I'm going today. Give me the Dodgers team total here in the afternoon, Jason. Fast food value menu for you, Jason. Where are you going without honey?
Yeah, so look, with this Braves series against the Diamondbacks, I've taken the Braves as a value play all 3 games so far during that series, the first 5 and the 2.5 on the team total, and they've hit every single time. Now, I don't think that the roof will be open in this game, but they'll still have Madison Bumgarner pitching, and I know we went against him last Friday, and he locked down the Astros in that game. But overall, he's still been terrible. 6.17 xFIP in his last 30 days, striking out 17.1%, walking 10.9% of batters, and also the ground ball rate sitting at 35.9%. In that game, he actually got more ground balls than fly balls, so it's kind of like a fluky game right there, allowing just one hit to the Astros in that game. So I like the Braves here. The Braves are going to have plenty of righties in the lineup, probably 7 righties, and Freeman will be the only lefty in the lineup. Now, they've struggled a little bit when it comes to it. I think 14 of 80 against Bumgarner for the roster, but Freeman has 35 of those plate appearances, and he's a lefty, and you don't expect him to do that well against Bumgarner in the first place. And the rest of the lineup only has 9 or less or fewer at-bats against him. So I'm not too worried about their lack of success against him previously. So we're going to go with that. We'll take the Braves over 2.5 in the first 5. And I guess we'll do one more here, and I'll save one for a little bit later. Patrick Corbin on the mound against the Reds here. Going a little bit, I think this game's at 6:40, so a little bit earlier than your typical 7 o'clock start. But Corbin, he's been awful as of late as well, with an xFIP of 4.97. And we've talked about it a lot, how the Reds, they do struggle sometimes against left-handed pitching, but the middle of the order, Castellanos, Thotto, Suarez, and Farmer all have elevated ISOs, really high-weighted OBAs, and this team is really limiting their ground balls and hitting plenty of line drives over 20% of the time. So I like the Reds over 2.5 in the first 5 on the team total, as well as another value play.
All right, there we go, Kyle. Value on your play today. Where are we going here? Where's that value menu?
I'm going over to BetMGM. I'm going to go the Toronto Blue Jays team total over 4.5 at minus 140. Look, it's just a team that has smashed Michael Pineda. Now, he wasn't bad in his last start against them. The 3 previous ones, all 3 were negative fantasy points there. It's a high-weighted OPS of 884 today. Some of the bigger bats in that lineup. George Springer, 10 for 25 in his career off Pineda with 3 home runs. Of course, Guerrero has a home run off of him as well. Grichuk has a home run off him as well. Marcus Semien, 3 of 11 lifetime. Got 6 hitters tonight in the green. I think the Blue Jays hit tonight. And once Pineda's out of that game, what happens? We get that really, really bad Twins bullpen as well. He made it to the 6th inning in the last game. They get him out a little bit earlier. It's even better. The projected order tonight is a career 317 average off Pineda. I think the Blue Jays get some hits. Get that. Drop it down. I'm seeing a lot of 5.5s out there, but if you get to bet MGM, as we talk about, I paid down the juice a little bit, -140 over 4.5.
I agree. And see, we should be winning some money today. By the way, these food odysseys out here. I remember a time, my best friend in high school, we ordered a pizza on a Friday night, and he put salt on the pizza, and we were about to throw hands because I couldn't even believe what I was actually witnessing at this point. He looked at me like this was normal. I looked at him like we're about to go outside and throw down. So I don't know. Different people have some different things that they really like in life. So I guess I can't say all that much that, hey, well, maybe so. Honey on chicken is ridiculous out here, but we'll keep going here. Odds boosted section yesterday, undefeated. I went with 2 odds boosts yesterday. Basically the same exact boost. 170 was at the FanDuel Sportsbook for Zach Wheeler and the Phillies win, combined with his strikeouts. And then also Fox Bet had it a little bit higher, 9 strikeouts or more, which you got 9 strikeouts, which is perfect. That was at +200, was fantastic. I don't like this wager tonight, but I am going to take it because I wouldn't put anything out that I'm not betting. But usually the odds boost give you the max ability. Sometimes it's $25 on Caesars, depending on what you're getting. There's a good odds boost tonight, by the way, for the football game, but that's for another story. But last night, $50, $50. Today, I'm betting $21 on this to win 100, and that's Bryce Harper at DraftKings to get 2 or more RBIs tonight, which pays at $380. I don't necessarily love it, but I'm not going to come on here and tell you guys like, hey, I lied to you. I told I was going to take $50. I put $10 on. No, I bet $21 on this bet to win 100. That's where I'm going, Jason. Where are you looking tonight on your odds boost?
Yeah, so it's not a big odds boost, but it's an odds boost, and there's not there's not great selections today across the board with the NFL game going on. But on Fox Bet, you can double your money with Max Scherzer. You get 8 strikeouts and the Dodgers to win, boosted from -110 to +100. So a minor boost, but a boost that should hit with the Rockies. Their projected lineup, their lineup might be out already. It should be, but striking out around 26% of the time, and then Scherzer, of course, striking out 38% of batters in the last 30 days. So 8 strikeouts, Dodgers to win on the road in Colorado at +100 when they're normally going to be a -275 favorite. If Scherzer can get 8 strikeouts, the Dodgers are probably going to win. So +100 is a solid boost on Fox Bet.
There you go. Odds boosted to the moon. Kyle, where are we going tonight on this baseball card? Did you find anything? Because I had to surf through a couple different books to be like, boy, this is really ridiculous tonight. But it's what it is sometimes.
I had the same one as you. I had Bryce Harper, and I'm honestly looking at the screen right now. They dropped it off the screen. It just left the screen on DraftKings. Did it drop off the screen for you? It was Logan Webb over 7 strikeouts or Bruce Harper with 2+ RBIs, and now they're both gone.
I love Bruce Harper.
Or Bryce Harper, excuse me, and I had him with a 62% advantage.
Gone on the site. They just took everything down. Must be a little bug. It'll
getting after us. Too many people watch. They're getting after us, man.
I was on the same one. Bryce Harper, 2+ RBIs. Love how he profiles tonight off Overton. I did a little sprinkle on that as well, so I like that one quite a bit.
All right, so here's what we got today. Let's get to the best bets on the Major League Baseball board today. I don't have a best bet here. I was actually really leaning towards going with the San Francisco team total because I think it is a legit option here on the card. I'm just going to stick with one play, have some fun with this during the football game, and this one is an afternoon game, so it will be wrapped up and hopefully cashed in before the football game starts. Obviously, Russ, we're probably going to be in, the 15th or 20th inning at that point. Dodgers team total over 5.5, -145. Jason, what do you have today?
Yeah, so I'm looking at the over 4.5 in the first 5 at -140 via MGM for the Blue Jays and Twins. Another value play for me again. All 3 of the bets I gave out today, all weighted the same. I will be putting 33% of 1 unit on those, and then you get that 1 unit through all 3. And then if you win 2 out of 3 games, you get some profit there and have some fun, of course, with the odds boost as well. But like Kyle was talking about, we should see some runs in this game. Matt's 4.71 xFIP, striking out just 20.3% of the batters. He has he's been okay. He hasn't been bad. The strikeouts are low. And you know what they say, when you put the ball in play, good things happen. You have Buxton, Polanco, Donaldson, Garver, Rooker, all these guys, Astudillo, all have solid power numbers against lefties and should be able to do plenty of damage, limiting the ground balls and hitting a solid amount of line drives. And then on the other hand, Pineda for the Twins, 14.5% strikeouts, also a 4.51 xFIP in his last 30 days. Again, his weighted OVA and ISO have not been bad, but the Blue Jays, their offense has been really good. Simeon, Guerrero, Hernandez, Gurriel, all guys with really elevated ISO power numbers and weighted OBAs. Of course, they also limit the ground balls and hit a solid amount of line drive. So even if both these pitchers, they have quality starts, we can still get over 4.5 in the first 5 at minus 140 between these two teams. And I think that hits. So another value play for me there.
There you go. And by the way, I am ashamed because I don't see Jim's comments, so I do
don't
apologize
either.
for all the fun happening in the chat box. That's the greatest part about it, right? We don't see any of that stuff, so it adds to the intrigue.
I do know this. I'm pretty sure it's not nice comments about me. That's what I'm fairly certain of. Yes. But I'm starting to garner that.
He's saying that he said he wants to do a pickoff against you, 10-10, and he will make more money than you.
Oh, okay. Probably not.
See, Jason has the that's why he has the glass. We don't have glasses. We can't see that stuff in the chat box out here. So but yes, I'm on DraftKings right now. I don't see the odds boost, so they must have taken them down. Yeah. That wager that I had up, it was before the show. I only picked about 30 minutes.
I swear to God, while you were talking about, because I forgot to pick an odds boost, so I was quickly searching, and it was on my screen, and right before, when you were talking about it, it was right there. And then it was gone while you were talking. And
if that peels up to like Bryce Harper 3+ RBIs, I'm going to just get a chuckle out of that bad boy. So this is what it is. We'll see if it comes up. And by the way, I'm surfing BetMGM right now. There are no win totals posted in the NFL. You've got to be kidding me with that. But we'll keep an eye on that and see if we can put the pressure on them. But it hasn't been the first time before that we've done shows focused on team totals and even putting out a good word. Did you see my tweet last week? Like, hey, guys, man. BetMGM looks like it's going to be a good book for team totals this year. Hold on. And good luck with that, Donnie. Ain't going to be a good book for team totals anymore this year. Odds lightning round. Let's shift it around Major League Baseball.
Should I give a best bet real fast?
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. My bad.
Just real quick. I won't make it too long here. Look, Madison Bumgarner was very good against Atlanta in his last start, but I love how the Braves profile one of the higher weighted OPSs on the card at 857. Left-handed pitching with all those power righties. Charlie Morton on the mound. Profiles beautifully against Arizona, obviously. Who doesn't? So with a 658 weighted 3-year OPS, I took the Braves minus 0.5 in the first 5 at minus 135. I just think Morton outdeals Bumgarner. Love that Braves lineup against the lefty. And, of course, what's there to love about the Diamondbacks lineup? So I think the Braves get it done in the first 5 innings today.
There you go. And by the way, if that ends up a losing bet, I tried to skip you, Kyle.
I know
so
it.
I can't, See? Nope.
I should have just shut up and let it go.
Mojo.
What the hell's wrong with me?
Bad mojo here. Let's get around Major League Baseball. Not a huge card left to go over, but I know, Jason, you already were looking at this Arizona-Atlanta play, Morton versus Bumgarner. They've been hitting in the series. Now, you are right. Now, is it official that the roof is not open? Probably not, since it's during the day.
Won't be today. I don't think
hotter
it's official.
temperatures. Yeah, it probably is. 220s is a heavy favorite here, but I think Atlanta hits each and every night here, specifically against bad baseball teams. Quick thoughts again on this game between the Braves and the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, so I just want to point out, I think that Kyle versus Jim and Rough and Rowdy as the co-main event to Jeff and Jersey Jerry would be a great addition to the card. So, I think we should figure that out, get that set, and have Jim versus Kyle as the co-main event in that card.
I've always wanted to walk out to the ring playing Burning Heart from Rocky. I would be unstoppable in that situation.
A Kyle and Jeff parlay would make a lot of money, and I would totally be down to put some money on that. But anyway, going back to this game for the Braves, again, Bumgarner, he killed us last week against the Astros. We took the Astros in the first 5, and it did not work out. But again, Bumgarner still hasn't been great, and the ground ball rate is very low, despite getting more ground balls last week than fly balls. So we're going to take the Braves over 2.5 in the first 5 on the team total and fade Bumgarner in this one, even with the roof closed.
There you go. I'm on the Arizona Diamondbacks website now. It is closed today. We'll be open on Friday and Saturday, then closed again on the day game for Sunday. So it is going to be closed tonight. We'll see if that makes a difference. Back end of a doubleheader tonight here. Chicago White Sox, Cleveland Indians, Kopech versus Plesac on the mound. 6s across the board. I know we don't do very much on these doubleheader games. Kyle, any thoughts on this between these two? Obviously, knowing now that we do have a W in the books, or most likely a W in the books for the White Sox. Wind blowing at 55 degrees. It is cool here, but 16-mile-an-hour winds blowing out the right field, though, tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lean to the White Sox. They're a higher pedigree team. Now, you all know how I feel about the White Sox. I don't trust them very much, and I won't be touching this game with a 10-foot pole. But they're going to be feeling some momentum with that early win today. We'll see. The tough part is if you're going to back the White Sox, make sure La Russa's actually going to put out a normal lineup. He likes to do weird things. The guy's a little bit off his rocker. So I would lean the White Sox, but I'd want to make sure what that lineup looks like later in the day.
There you go. All right, let's keep moving down the list here. Washington and Cincinnati. Corbin, the lefty on the mound, versus Castillo, the righty. 190s to 210s, depending on where you're shopping at. A 9, basically, across the board. Some 8.5s here at Bet Rivers and Parks here in Pennsylvania. Corbin versus Castillo, Jason. Any thoughts here between the Nats and the Reds?
Yeah, again, I do like the Reds over 2.5 in the first 5 on the team total in this game. Corbin, this is the guy that's kind of been on and off all season long. But the main thing is he just, he will struggle against righties. 49 weighted OBA, ISO of 353 in the last 97 plate appearances. So you have Castellanos, you have Suarez, you have Farmer. All three of those guys have destroyed against lefties in the last 30 days. Also, of course, India Stevenson, Aquino, DeShields, all guys hitting from the right side as well against Corbin. So, yeah, I think the Reds can do some damage here. I like them to at least score 3 runs in the first 5 innings, and they get over on that first 5 team total ticket.
Yeah, let's see what happens in that one here. Now, also, here's another good one. Like, the Phillies were minus 350 yesterday. I had to sweat out. Forget about it, because the easy part of that odds boost yesterday was supposed to be the Phillies winning the game over the Orioles. And you had to sweat it out as they were losing that game. And thank goodness that Zach Wheeler stayed in long enough to get the 9 Ks. But you look at it again today, at home versus Pittsburgh. There are heavy rains today in the South Jersey area. So we'll see if this game even gets played. But if it does, the Phillies are going to go off again at a minus 300. I don't understand. Like, sometimes I don't understand what the book looks like or what they match it up. But I know the Phillies are trying to get in the playoffs. Nola is a better pitcher than Overton is. But have we seen anything out of the Phillies for like the past decade that shows no matter who's on the mound, there should be close to a 3-1 price here, Kyle?
Yeah, it's a little too steep for my liking. And look, I did a little sprinkle on their team total yesterday, and they let me down bad over those first 5 innings and got to 4, needed that one last run, and they simply couldn't get there. I mean, should they win? Of course. Is this a huge pitching mismatch? It certainly is. But you can't hold the bag with the Phillies right now. I mean, minus 0.5 in the first 5 is minus 165. You really want to hold that bag with Phillies? Little tough for me here. Of course, I lean the Phillies, but for me, if I'm betting it, plus 225 in the first 5, I might do a little dog or pass. I wouldn't put a ton on it, but why not take a chance here with a team like the Phillies who can't seem to get it together? Teams like the Pirates and the Orioles lately have been, peeing in people's Cheerios, as people like to say. And maybe it's a dog or pass situation here with the Pirates.
I don't know. We'll see what happens here with the Phillies. I'll root them on, but it almost seems like it doesn't matter. As long as Atlanta plays bad baseball teams, who cares what happens here out on the field? Exactly. Let's go to Texas and Baltimore. Yes, I said that they are matching up tonight.
Thank
How many
God
fans stands in Baltimore? Yes. Who knows? 9s across the board. A slight favorite towards Texas here in this game. Lothar, not a great pitcher. Texas, not a lot of great batters, but here we are, Jason.
Yeah, look, so the Texas Rangers, their offense is terrible. .086 ISO, 227 weighted OBA for this lineup. Really, there's nobody in the lineup that's even worth talking about or mentioning for the Rangers. But they're going up against a really bad pitcher in Wilder, like you said, 5.40 xFIP, and he's got low strikeouts and high walks, along with low ground balls and high line drives. So if there's ever a time where maybe the Rangers offense kind of figures it out, it would be against him. Now you have Baltimore. Baltimore, on the other hand, their offense, they've got some guys that can do damage against righties. Mullins, Mountcastle, Hayes. Really, those are the 3 guys that have been consistent at the top of the order. But once you get past them, you have guys with 0.000 ISOs and really poor weighted on base averages. So that's where the rally gets killed there as well. And Otto has actually been pretty good with a 3.81 xFIP. So, yeah, again, Cal didn't want this game because it's impossible to find a winner. Looking at these numbers, this is it's dreadful between both teams. And, don't be betting this game.
Yeah, it's interesting stuff to say the least here. 971, 972. Toronto looking to get into the playoffs. They need to pick up every victory they can. Minnesota yesterday, fresh off a W versus the Chicago Cubs. They'll take on Matt, the lefty on the mound, a 145 to 150, depending where you're shopping at here. 9.5 as a total. Toronto and Minnesota, Kyle. Quick thoughts on this game.
Well, you all know I love the Blue Jays team total, over 4.5 there. That's on the value menu. But I will say this, that Twins team total, you can get over 3.5 as well at minus 140. They profile pretty nicely here off Matz. Matz is not a great pitcher. They've hit him pretty well. It's an 895 weighted 3-year OPS. There's some pop there, some righties who could pop off on Matt, Sano, etc. in that Twins lineup. I think there's runs in this game. I kind of lean the over in this game. My favorite bet on it, of course, is that Blue Jays team total. but I do think the Twins team totals are a little bit sneaky as well. So I'll be looking at an over and hoping the Blue Jays can get some runs tonight.
Yeah, should be able to get runs. We'll see, because that's a AL East price that you're paying. Like Boston, New York Yankees, Toronto Blue Jays, all fighting it out for those final spots here in the AL. We'll see what happens. Houston and LA. McCullers on the mound versus Cobb, heavy favorite here, which opened up as a heavy favorite, Jason. Houston minus 188 down to minus 163 offshore. 196 at FanDuel, now sits at 168. So some money coming in here on the Angels, 8.5s across the board. Any thoughts here between Houston and the Angels?
Yeah, this is tough when the Angels have been so bad offensively against righties. Ohtani, 51 plate appearances in his last 30 days, a 0.000 ISO and a 211 weighted OBA, while striking out 35.3% of the time. So, when your key bat in the lineup isn't producing, it's going to be hard to do much on offense at all against righties. And that's what it looks like with the Angels. They've struggled. They don't look great. McCullers will walk a solid amount of batters, but at the end of the day, you'll see the Angels are just walking 7.9% against righties, so it's not that high where it can become excessive. And then, of course, the Astros, their offense looks a lot better against Cobb, a right-handed pitcher, but Cobb has actually been pretty good really all season long. This is a guy that he'll get a lot of ground balls throughout the entire season, and there were times earlier in the season where he kind of got unlucky with ground balls that got through holes and became hits. But at the end of the day, the Astros, they're hitting just 37.1% of ground balls, also nearly 24% of line drives. So, yeah, I expect the Astros to score some runs in this game, even against Cobb here. But this probably becomes an under game.
All right. Looks like we are going to wrap the show up here. Yeah, right around that 45-minute mark. But before we get out of here, we'd like to clear the bases, even though we never have it on the rundown anymore. There it is. Bang. Put it right up on the screen for us. So let's let the people know what we're digging on today. Now, obviously, I am on the Dodgers 5.5 minus 145 at BetMGM. I am on Harper 2+ RBIs at plus 380, which there are no odds boosts currently listed here, no matter what sport, on DraftKings. So we'll see if that pops back up. But that's what I'm eating on today. Hopefully cashing some tickets. Jason, what do you got today for the people again?
Yeah, so I'm going to be on the Braves over 2.5 in the first 5 on the team total at minus 115. That game starts pretty soon. So if you want to get in on that, you've got to make that wager now. And of course, later on, the Reds over 2.5 in the first 5 on the team total at minus 110 and over 4.5 in the first 5 at minus 140 for the Blue Jays and Twins. And I know Kyle liked that bet a little bit as well, as he talked about both teams hitting on their team totals. And the odds boost will be the double your money on Fox Bet. Max Scherzer get 8 strikeouts and the Dodgers to win, boosted from minus 110 to plus 100.
All right, Kyle, what do you have today? Let the people know.
I got to say, I love this chat box. I mean, we got beef jerky. We have thongs. We've got orange juice and cereal. We've got honey on McNuggets. We've got single ants out here. Someone trying to pimp their ant out to yours truly.
Ooh.
Come on. You guys are the real winners. You guys are the real stars of the show today. Fantastic job. Like I said, I like that Blue Jays team total over 4.5 at minus 140 over at BetMGM. My play of the day, of course, is the Braves minus 0.5 in the first 5. I think they rake off of Bumgarner, and Morton should be able to get through that lineup. Normally, I have a strikeout under prop, but it's football day, so I'll give you guys the football prop I like. Just a little precursor into the football show. One prop I like, Christian McCaffrey over 54.5 yards receiving. That's at minus 125. He's breezed past that number in each of the first 2 weeks.
All right, there we go. So we got everything wrapped up and ready to go today. Then we got to get ready for an NFL football show coming up in about 45 minutes. But thank you guys once again for tuning into the Major League Baseball show here for a Thursday. Guess what? Tomorrow is Friday. Yes, that means it is payday. So good luck on those wagers tonight. I'm Donnie RightSide along with Jason Radowitz, Purviance with the sportsbookreview.com Major League Baseball team. And oh yeah, let's say it again. Good luck on those wagers.